Alright. What's up, Jack? What's up? Teleport, enter playground to watch. Alright, teleport. This sounds pretty good. Alright. And this one. Alright, bet. I'm ready. I'm rusty. Damn. Gotta go cooked.
The builds are now resetting.
Alright, there's no fault damage in this. Yeah, boy. Alright, guess I'm about to rush. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna play on this map. Pretty W. Alright, I'm gonna restart stream later, cause right now, I don't know right now. I'll restart later. See you guys.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to go over the best possible settings to get your recordings with OBS looking nice and crispy. And speaking of nice and crispy, if you guys are also streamers and want take your streams to on Twitch themed pickup graphics such as alert overlays is that Rodan of the exact .t outprint here with my on down to the bottom right, and we're going to enter our settings. In this first tab here, there's nothing really important when it comes to your recording's quality. However, you can change your theme to match whatever you like. I enjoy using this Yami theme because I think it's really easy on the eyes. Another setting in this tab is going to be source alignment snapping. This is going to be a setting that allows you to position things in a more evenly manner on your scenes, right? If you enable snapping and choose specific tab, we're going to guys want a nice put tab on the left side here. Make sure at the top that you are set to advanced and not on simple. And we're going to be by default in the streaming tab right here. We want to switch this over to the recording tab. This is where we're going to mess with all of the settings that are going to affect how our recordings look. In the recording tab, you're first going to notice that you can choose a recording path for where you want your recordings to be stored. Mine go to for these and emphasis. I'm coder playing while with. So for this video, you're going to set this to disabled. If we scroll down quite a bit more, these are going to... What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a best stream panel modular. You can play my link 50% obviously first tab right here. I'm going to position this important. That's going to really in an Akri theme setting in here. That's probably about half 10 snaps on your here. I think you do no matter. Here is where all the important stuff goes down. At the top, you want to select the output mode to advanced. Make sure it's not on simple. And then make sure you're in the streaming tab right here. Within this tab, you can basically copy most of my settings and then tweak it to match your machine. The next most important thing to note here is the video encoder. I'm using the NVIDIA NVENC H.264 encoder because I'm using an NVIDIA GPU. I do recommend staying away from X264 because what that's going to do is use your CPU for encoding rather than your graphics card. If you have the option to, you want to be using your graphics card to do most of your encoding. Otherwise, you're going to see some pretty heavy frame drops in most of the games that you are playing. Rescale output, we want to set this to disabled. Jumping down to the encoder settings, our rate control, we're going to set this to CBR. For your bitrate, you're going to want to set this to 8,000. Your keyframe interval can be set to 2 seconds. Your preset can be set to P7 or slowest for the best quality. If you're struggling or maybe dropping frames or getting some encoding overload errors, you can drop this down to P6 or even P5. The difference between P5 and P7 isn't that great, so I suggest starting with P7 and then working your way down to P5 if you are getting some performance issues on P7. For tuning, we're going to set this to high quality. Multipass mode, we want to set this to 2 passes, full resolution. For profile, we want to set this to high. Look ahead, we're going to uncheck, and psycho-visual tuning, we're going to have checked. For our GPU box, we're going to set this to 0, and our max B-frames, set this to 2. As for the other tabs at the top up here, recording, audio, and replay buffer, we can kind of ignore those since this video is just focused on getting your stream set up with the best possible settings. Over on the left, we're going to move down to the audio tab, and in this tab is where you're going to basically set up any of your audio devices. Your sample rate should be set to 48, and your channel should be set to stereo. Under global audio devices here, your desktop audio device will be whatever devices you are using to hear audio, right? So for me, I basically have the broadcast stream mix because I'm using a Go XLR to kind of mix down all my audio. If you are someone who is not using a audio interface of any sort and you're just gaming with your headphones on, you're going to want to set your desktop audio device to those headphones or to just default. Whatever you have your sound playing back to you, you're going to set that to default. If you have a little bit more of an intricate audio setup where you're using a Go XLR or some sort of audio device like a Focusrite Scarlett, I do have videos on that on the channel, but for the purposes of this video, this is for the best possible settings on your stream. So you're going to set this to default if you are not using an audio device. If you are, like I am using, it gets a little bit more complicated, but under the mic audio, you want it to be visible. Your stream with one. This streamer is trying to reconnect. It won't end your stream. It'll still